My name is Joseph. As usual, let's talk about CBT add-on of rSheet. Of course, it's an add-on because it's an added feature. It's not a core feature of rSheet. The CBT add-on, as the name implies, is a feature that helps you to conduct computer-based text, all right, for students, all right, as long as they have internet, they have a computer, they have a phone, a tablet, they can take examination from their devices. So I'm going to be taking you through how to configure the CBT, how to create questions, how to upload questions, categories of questions, even comprehension questions, diagrams, mathematical questions can be added to this version of CBT, all right? Then we'll have, you see how to view the scores after the exam, various configurations that are possible using this CBT add-on. All right, so right on the left menu, you can see the CBT add-on here. You click on this, you have about 5 sub-menus: create exam, case studies, upload questions, upload SAQs, and view questions. So I'm going to be explaining these one after the other. Let's start with the very first one, create exam. So an exam, of course, is the text, all right? The subject, as the case may be, you want to text the student on or that particular text, all right? So these are, for example, these are the exams that are available at the moment. You can create a new exam. So let's say I want to test students on mathematics, and let's say this is for secondary school, right? I want to test students for mathematics for first term in JSS1. So I just call this exam maths GSS1 first term. So give the exam a name that you can easily the name that depicts what the categories of students is meant for. So something that is a format that is similar to this, okay? So you indicate the duration for this exam. Let's say it's a 30 minutes exam. Now, how many questions do you want to be pulled out for students when they are taking this particular exam? Let's say you want 50 questions. Okay, display result on completion. Would you want students to see the result of this exam when they take this particular exam? So you can select these or not. So you create exam. Oh, so white space is not allowed in the exam name. So here you say mass underscore GSS1 underscore first term, first underscore term. So spaces are not allowed in the name. All right, perfect. So you can click here to see if you can refresh and see the name of the exam here. You see, this is the name of the exam. This is the duration. This 30 start for 30 minutes. Then show result. This true means that when they take this exam, they're going to see the result immediately. All right, you can set it to false for whatever reason you don't want them to see the result immediately. That is best known to you. Exam maximum number, that's number of questions they're going to, the software we're going to pull out from the bank of questions, okay? Total questions at the moment is 0. There are no questions uploaded to this particular exam. Exam status this is to determine you want to say this exam should be available for students to take. All right. If it's 1, then it's available. If it's 0, it's not available. So when students log in, they can't see this exam at all. All right. Unit score is the number of scores allotted to a question. So you can say each question carries 1 mark. You can say each question 5 marks, whatever the case may be. For example, this you already say here 250 questions. So you may want to say unit score is 2, so that 2 times 50 becomes 100. Okay, so you can configure that here. Click on this action button and look for change duration and unit score. So you can change duration here. If you want to change the duration for these, let's say you want it to be 40 minutes, and the score for each of them should be 2. All right, so that is that about how to change the unit score and and duration. Okay, other features, other possibilities are here on this action button. You want to delete this exam, you want to rename the exam, you want to change show status. So initially you had said show result. You may want to say no, don't show them result after this exam. You can click on these. change exam maximum number. You want to increase 50 to whatever, you want to reduce it, click on this change exam max number. Activate exam. So for example, this exam status, you may want to activate so that student can see this exam. So it's going to turn to 1. It's 1. So this is activated. So all exams activated will be seen at the front end. So it's recommended that you deactivate all exams if it's not the time for that exam. So even when students log in, they cannot see that particular exam. So this is how to create an exam. All right. That's quite simple. Yeah, the next thing is, how do you upload questions? Before you upload questions, let me explain what case studies are. So the term case study, a case study is, it could be an object, it could be an image, it could be a formula, it could be a comprehension, it could be anything that you may want to use to answer several questions. I'll give you an instance. For example, this is a diagram, right? You may want to use this diagram to answer 5 questions. So you have to create that case study. This is a comprehension. All right. So you may want to, let's learn how to create a case study. Let me just copy this test here and use it to create a new case study. So let's say new case study. Let's say this is comprehension 2. All right, 2. So you type your, let's say story. Let's say the comprehension is how Russia attacked Ukraine. That's the title of this story. So this is what we call what you see is what you get editor. You can do a lot of things here. You can make it bold, you can italicize, you can underline it, you can even increase the font size, change your font, increase the font size. So, that's why you can even type formulas here. Imagine you want to use this for mathematics, quadratic equation with square roots. So there are a lot of elements here. You need to play around them and know how to use them. All right. If you want to attach an image, you come here to attach the image from here. All right. But in this case, I'm doing a comprehension. It's just a story. All right. So we want to just put this here, put this here. All right. Just all of these. Okay. This should not be underlined. So just the title should be underlined. So I remove the underline. Okay. So when I'm done with this comprehension, all right. So I may want to just reformat all of these here. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. This should be increased. Let me just increase this to size 16. Okay. So when I'm done with this, if I need an image, you can attach an image. All right. So for that, for example, for the sake of that skeleton or a diagram of a skull, diagram in biology, diagram of anything, an animal, just come here and attach the diagram. The inside here, just maybe say diagram of whatever. So that's all. All right, and click create. So this is a case study. So you say your case study was successfully uploaded with an ID of 8. So remember, this is the ID of this case study is 8. You need this ID when you are creating your questions that this case study will be used for. So for this comprehension, for example, you may want to even refresh. You're going to see all the case studies here. All right, let me refresh again. I think I need to refresh to see this the current case study is it's not this. It's not this. See it here. How Russia attacked Ukraine. So the ID is 8. See the ID here. So have this ID in your mind anytime you want to use it. So let's learn how to create questions. So you now know the way I'm going to use this case study. All right. So let's go to upload questions. So there are various ways, 3 ways to upload questions. You can upload from CSV. You can upload from a rich text. You can upload manually. Okay, I'm going to explain the 3 of them very quickly. Let's start with the CSV. You may have your questions in an Excel format. So this is a sample format. Serial number, question, option A, option B, option C, option D, option E, then answer. So you put your serial number here, put the question here, put option A, for example. This one says, in which Italian city can you find the Colosseum? A, Venice, B, Rome, just like that. Then the answer is B. Okay, so you can put your questions like these in an Excel sheet, in a spreadsheet. Of course, click Save As if you are using Microsoft Excel, then you see an option to indicate the file type to be comma separated value, CSV. So once you save that as CSV, you now bring it here to upload. If you're using Google Spreadsheet, just click on File, Download as CSV, okay? So once you have prepared these questions on an Excel, you come here, select the subject. So for example, this is the exam subject, right? Math, GCSE1 first time, which you just created. Select this particular exam, then you look for that file. I think I have one file prepared here. This is questions. I have one here. Yeah, this is question. Yeah, it's an example. Okay. So once you don't, let me show you the file I want to upload. This is it here. Question. See, remember question. I have my questions here, option A, option B, option C, D, E, and answer. Once you have this prepared as a CSV file, a CSV file is an Excel file, only that is saved as comma separated value. All right. So once you have that selected, just click on import. So it's going to tell you the number of questions imported. So 10 questions were successfully uploaded. Okay, so that is that, simple as that. So this is a very fast way of uploading questions. Okay, you may want to use the manual upload, but with rich text and images. Okay, this is what you see, is what you get, editor. So you have it. You can say, for example, let's say, who is the president of America? Let's say that's a question. Okay, so I make it bold, increase the font size. Of course, you can play with other elements here. So I come here and say A, Barack Obama. B, Joe Biden. C, Mohammed Buhari. All right, you just put in everything should be entered here. Now, then let's say you have D, none of the above. All right. So when you are done, do your configuration, your design here, you are done with everything here. Now, the reason for this rich test is that you may want to have a question that has formula. All right, so there are equations, there are symbols for equations here that you can use to add several elements, maybe square root, whatever you want. So special characters are all here. All right, so you have to play with this to learn how to design. That's the purpose of this particular option. All right, rich text and images. You may want to even attach an image, come here and attach an image. Okay, all of that will be added to this question. When you are done with this, you select the answer. Say the answer, let's say, of course, for this sake is B, C, Joe, no, this is B, Joe Biden, right? So select your answer as B. Then select last option, that is, how many options do you have here? You have up to D. So your last option is D. Okay. Then when you are done with these, is this question attached to a case study? If it is, you put the case study ID here. If it's not, leave it blank. So for example, this question is not attached to a case study. I'm done. I just say submit. Attention, select the subject. What happened? Oh, sorry. I need to select the exam name. Okay, I'm done with that. All right, so if your question is attached to a case study, for example, let me use this manual method to explain case study, since I will want to also explain this method. So the manual method is simple and straightforward. Let's say I have a comprehension question, for example. No, let me give you another simpler question first. All right, which city is the capital of Nigeria? All right, so I say here Abuja, Lagos, Benin. Okay, where's that again? Let's say Nairobi. Let's say Tanzania. All right, of course the answer is Abuja. Click on this. All right, so this is a difference you can notice between this and the other method, right? click on the answer. This is how to indicate the answer. Okay, is this attached to a case study? Still, this is not attached to a case study. Okay, I select my subject where I'm uploading to, I click save. All right, so let's now add a question that has case study. So for example, I'll say from the comprehension, who is Putin? So let's say that comprehension has a description of who Putin is. All right, so I'll say President of Russia. All right, Russia. Prime Minister of Russia. Senator in Russia. All right, just put my options. None of the above. All of the above. So case study 8. Remember, it was a case study ID 8. So what that means is that when the student gets to this question, the student will have an option to view the comprehension first before he can answer this question. So I save this. So this is how to use a case study. So remember, this method also has a case study here. You can put the case study ID, just put the ID. All right, if you put a wrong ID, it's going to tell you that's a wrong ID. Okay, why this is for bulk? You want to upload your questions. You want to see the format, just see the format here. Otherwise, select your exam, then look for the file, upload it and import. Okay, but if you want to use the manual method with a opportunity to edit, have a rich text environment, use this method. You want to just have simple and straight questions like English questions or textual questions, just come here, and indicate the question, the options, and select the answer. If it has a case study, add a case study here. All right, so that is fine. You may want to click here to view case studies quickly. You can click here, or you go to your menu here. Your case studies are here. All right, so you know the idea of the case study you want to use. Okay, so that is how to create questions. We've learned how to create an exam, how to upload questions to that exam. All right, haven't spoken about talked about how to upload questions, the multiple choice questions. Let's now talk about how to upload SAQs. What are SAQs? SAQs are short answered questions. All right, questions that require the students to enter in an answer. I'll give you an example. If the question says, which city is the capital of Nigeria? The city is Abuja. There's no other way you can spell it. All right, it's Abuja. Or let's look for something more precise. What is the full meaning of WHO? Full meaning is World Health Organization. So there's no other way to spell it. All right, so those are short answered questions. So questions that require students to enter in an answer. Okay, so this CBT add-on also has a feature for that. So you have here upload SAQs. Okay, so click on these. All right, so you can see just the same way with the same approach for uploading normal questions. You can use the bulk method, you can use the manual method. All right, if you have your questions in this is a picture of how you should enter them on an Excel or a spreadsheet, rather, if you want to use the bulk method. So you have a serial number, the question, the answer. So for example, you have here, this question says, question 5, say, in which city can you find Prado Museum? The answer is Madrid, okay? When did Salt Lake City host the Winter Olympics? 2002. That's the answer. All right, you just have these 3 columns in your CSV. I think I have a sample here that we can use, for example. So I select let's say I want to add SAQs to this particular exam. All right, remember we've entered about 10 or 30 questions to this exam. All right, so let's add SAQs to this exam. Remember, you can have multiple choice and SAQs together in one particular exam. All right, so let's add some SAQs. I think I have a file that has this is a file with SAQs. All right, so let me show you the file before I upload it. The file is here on the desktop. Is it here? So you see the format I just showed you. See it, serial number, question, answer. Once you have this on Excel, save it as a CSV, then you can bring it here and upload it to this place. Okay. So once you are done with that, select the exam as I said, attach the CSV file and click import. You're going to import the SAQs. So you have 10 SAQs added. All right. So if you want to use the manual method, as usual, select the exam, type in your question here. For example, which city is the biggest in the world? So just put in your answer here. Let's say the answer is Abuja. All right, just put your answer there. Okay. If this is attached to a case study, put the case study ID. Of course, there's no case study here. All right. So that is that. Then you click submit. You're done. So let's see how many questions do we have in total so far now for this particular exam. So this exam now has about 23 questions. All right. Remember, maximum exam number now is now 10. I've adjusted it to 10. Okay. Oh, that's cool. All right. So that's how to create. Just showing you how to create SAQs. Okay. Yeah. So finally, how do you view your questions? Just click on the exam or the subject, as the name, as the case may be, how you want to call it. Click on the exam and click open. So you're going to see all the questions you have. So it's telling you this is, for example, this is an objective questions. All right. It's not an SAQ. Otherwise, you will see SAQ here. Okay. As a type of questions. All right. You can go to the next page. So this is a rich test question and all of that. Okay. That is that. You may want to delete any question. Just click on here, delete. Or you want to edit this question. You want to view this question. For example, there's a question. You can view everything about the question, the option, the case study. There's no case study for this question. Okay, so that is that for viewing questions. Finally, how to view scores when the students have taken the exam. Click on these and you select the name of the exam. Let me check test one. Perhaps we have taken that exam. Then you select the date that exam was held, and then you can view your scores. All right, you can see these are the scores for these three persons. You may want to delete this particular score because once an exam is taken, it cannot be retaken again. So in the case where there are challenges or you want the student to retake the exam, you have to come here to delete that particular score first. Otherwise, the student cannot take the exam. So quickly, let me show you how the student take an exam. So this is for admin. What I've explained is for admin, how you set your questions, create exams. So how the student take exam, just very briefly. Of course, go to rSheet.com.ng/CBT. All right. It's going to take you to where students log in. So this student login. All right. They put in their school ID. All right. They put in their school ID. Then they put in their reg number. Okay. The school ID and the reg number. Then they can log in. Okay. Do I have a sample school ID here now? Yeah, that's it. Okay, that's good. So when they come in here, they have to enter their full name. Let's say this is Joseph. Let's see. The wrong number is already here. Select the exam. But you remember there are only three exams, that are activated. If you check your admin end, create exams. These three exams are the ones activated, 1, 2, 3, the ones that have one. So those are the only exams the student will see. So the student will now select what he wants to take. So that's why I recommend that you deactivate exams if it's not period of exams, okay? So they cannot come here and take any exam. So once you do this, you click start. Of course, these are the instructions. Click on start. This will take the student. Say there are only 30 questions in the database and you are asked to answer 5 questions. So it's a wrong configuration. If you come here, there are only 30 questions and exam mass number is 50. So let's come in here and change the exam mass number to take 10 questions out of the 13 questions. All right, so this will allow the student to take the exam now. So let's come back to the student interface. So you can take the exam now. So be sure your configuration is okay. So this is the exam. Remember, we said 40 minutes for this exam. So it's already 39, 50 seconds. All right. So the student, now the first question here, very good, has a case study. You can see, answer these questions using this case study. From the comprehension, who is putting? You remember that question? All right. So the student has to click on these to check the comprehension. You remember this comprehension? So check it, then you can now answer the question. Then move to the next. To move to the next, you can use your the arrow that points to the right. You can move to the like this. You can move backward. All right. If you don't want to click on this next and previous, so I prefer to use the arrow. You can move to arrow right, arrow left. So number two, in which city is the Juventus Football Club based? Just select whatever you want to choose. Next, just like that. Next, just like that. Okay, till you get to the last question. All right. Remember, if your time is up, it's going to submit by itself. If you are done before the time, click on submit at the top right here. It's going to ask you, warning, you have attempted 5 out of 10 questions. Would you want to submit? Say yes, I want to submit. I'm okay. Click on submit. You see your exam ended. You score 4, which is equivalent to 20. Now you're able to see this result because from the settings, we had said, allow this exam to display the result. Otherwise, you won't see this score here. Okay, thank you so much.